Welcome to the Scandal Podcast. I'm one of your hostesses, Jaha Knight, author, branding coach, and speaker. And I am joined today by my Gladiator team. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, ladies.
Hi, my name is Elde'a Harris, and you can find me on Twitter at Janet Tamerfan.
And I am Katrina Pavela, and you can find me on Twitter at #1feeling. That's the number one, not O-N, not zero N, like zero N, O-N-E, and at katrinapavela.tumblr.com.
And if you all look up into the tops of the sky, or if you're watching us on the little, hangout, you'll see all of their Twitter handles up there in the header of the room. Yeah, because that didn't really come out so well. All right, so last night's episode, Baby made a mess on Scandal. What were your thoughts overall about the episode, ladies?
Okay, I'll go first. I thought it was classic Scandal. I felt like the show was getting back to what it does best. I was uncomfortable. I laughed. I cried. I thought about some things. And I think that is what this show has always done best, has made us feel all these messy feelings that we don't like to feel. So I liked it. I thought it was probably the best episode to date for me this season.
Oh, for sure, for this season. Definitely.
The best episode to date?
For this season.
For the season?
Yes.
Yeah, for the 4th season.
Yes, season number 4. You have another one, Jaha, you think was better?
Hey, the whole season though? That's all. Hey.
Well, no, so far this is the 8th episode. It's the 7th episode out of 7 episodes so far. We have a number to go, but thus far of the 7, this is the best.
Okay.
That's what she's saying. Okay, Jaha, clearly.
Yeah. I heard what she said. I was just like, of the whole season? Okay. Well.
Okay, well, what do you think of this season so far? Yeah. What do you think is has been the best episode?
Now, see, don't put me on the spot. You answer the question first.
No. Let's get this straight, right? You are the one who are like, I don't know, the whole season though? The whole season?
But that's my job. I'm just
when we ask you, you're like, no, don't put me on the spot.
Y'all see how vulgar. Roll over her. First, Elde'a rolled over me, and then Katrina backed up over me and was like, Come on, y'all. But okay, of the season, I kind of think that the episode was smelly melly, and the whole shenanigans with the chicken and all that stuff. I thought that was the best episode of the season.
That was that 405?
Yeah,
that was 405.
The fact that that's when we found out that Victor tried to kill himself and all these other things that happened.
No, we found that out in episode 1.
Yeah.
Well, did we? I didn't recall that.
Fitz and Melly were on the balcony, on the Truman balcony, and he comes out to check on her, and I forget what he says, and she said, like the time you tried to kill yourself. Mm-hmm. And he said, don't bring that up again. She says, well, I'll add it to the list. Missing mistress, dead kid, suicide attempt.
Why did I even bother y'all?
The other thing she said.
All right. Now, I will just go ahead and say that this episode was the best, since that's what Elde'a said.
No, we weren't saying that. I was just trying to clarify that the episode that you meant with the chicken.
I just like the one with the
405, I think.
Okay.
I like the chicken, Melly. I loved it because that fried chicken looked delicious.
No, it was chicken. Remember they?
No, it was 404 it was 404 when he cursed her ass out about, smelly Melly. Chicken Melly, that you're not holding anything together as the mother. You're not doing anything.
But you know what? Even with this episode, she was saying she was holding up the walls.
I can't even get into.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that later.
Let's not true.
Yes, let's do it. Because I'm already tightening my fist.
Right.
Just thinking about it.
But she was like, "I'm my baby," and when she said that, I was like, "Oh."
Right.
So Katrina, what did you think about the episode, since we didn't get this? Y'all went in on me. I'm just asking questions. I'm having no opinions.
No, you have opinions, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna shut up a little bit more because I feel like I
Okay,
talk too
then.
much. Um, no, I love the episode. In fact, I loved it down. I wanted to spread it out on the Oval Office, like
Oh my
and
God.
start at the bottom and go all the way to
Into
the
the
top. I
Scandal
loved it
podcast
that
after dark at the
much.
beginning of this episode. Like, seriously, you wanted to
Oh
spread
my
it out? You
God.
wanted Olivia Fitz? You wanted to fix it? Because
That's
Fitz was
how
talking
much.
about spreading thighs and open mouths and
And,
Jesus Christ. I was like, Fitz, I'm a little.
and Katrina, just so you know, I read your blog today.
Oh, did you?
You're in a glass house of emotions, huh? A little glass box of
I'm
emotions.
in a glass box of emotion.
I'm
Listen,
like,
hype
is this?
after I watched it this morning. I was like,
Now, here's a question. I'm assuming this must be somebody who's a part of the show that you were addressing things to. Jenna Bans?
oh, yeah, well, she wrote the episode, and can
Okay.
we gotta
Okay,
give her a shout
because
out.
I was like, is like, are you writing to a fictional character? Because it just sounds like you're having a full conversation with this person, and it was cracking me up.
I had to give her props. Like
Yeah.
I've done that. I think to Matt Byrne before, and to Zahir McGee. I mean, last week's episode was fantastic. He wrote that episode, and he also wrote A Woman Scorned, which was 220, which goes down, especially if you're an Olitz or a classic. And Jenna Bans wrote the fucking trail. Okay, so we bow
Okay.
down to
Wait,
Jenna Bans.
right. Yeah.
That's one of the favorites.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Let's go back to the flow. Where were we at?
Oh no, y'all gonna flow yourself right out of all of the questions I got.
I know.
planned
See,
on this
come on,
thing.
come on, guys, come on.
They're gonna be
Okay,
like, "Oh, we
alright,
didn't get them." I'm like, "Hey, after dark." Go ahead, Katrina.
No. Like you asked me how I felt about the episode. I just felt, for me, the writing, the direction, meaning the pace and the editing of the show, because sometimes there can be really good content. Remember how when we had the podcast about 405, we said, oh, there were a lot of good elements in the episode, but the editing just was distracting, and like it didn't like bring it all the way together.
Oh, this
And with this episode, like, everything was so cohesive. The pace was on point, and for a show like this, the pacing is so important. Oliver Bokelberg, who's normally the DP, he's really great with like fast-paced stuff. He was the director. The editing was great. Of course, the acting was just out of the part, and I just thought the proportion of the storylines, like who they paid attention to, like for me, was really compelling. And shall we notice that Jake was literally almost completely absent?
Okay.
you know what? That flashback, all the flashbacks at the end with Olivia when she was sitting there with Fitz, that was perfect. I love that.
Can I just say homage to Usual Suspects, because at the end, you know what my response was.
Oh, you said Olivia Kaiser Soze.
Yes, because I was like, guys, I spent the evening with a high school friend watching both Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, sitting in a hotel room. So it's like we had been promising that we were going to get together someday, and we finally had that opportunity. And I swear to God, she had to like calm me down because I was jumping all over the room. I was like, oh my God, guys, Olivia is Kaiser Sose. She's Kaiser Sose. I was losing my mind because I was like, wow.
You know what? You brought that up. Her reaction to me, to the photographs of that discovering that somebody has been following her all this time, it was like almost nothing to her. She really didn't seem that alarmed to me. And I thought,
it's happened so many times before. They stay following Olivia and tracking her.
Olivia is used to being followed and watched. Like this is established in season 1. Whether it's Fitz, whether it's her father, or Jake, but Jake was in service of her father, so it's
right. But still, she knows. She knows.
I'm just like, something is going on here that I haven't quite figured out, and I just want to know how it's connected to Winslow they did say that his firm is kind of internationally known to rock the microphone. No, that
Wow,
his
really?
firm,
I was like, she is not gonna. Yes, she is.
Wow. Okay.
his firm is internationally known, and one of the top 6 like international financial firms. And I'm like, do the photographs, Winslow, the bombing, do those all connect in somewhere, or is the bombing thing just something that happened as a way to kind of facilitate Melly's storyline with Elizabeth and Cyrus? I don't know where that's going to end up.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go to the favorite 3 moments of last night. Elde'a, what were your favorite 3? Because we have text, tweets, and messages on Google that are piling up over here. Like
So my favorite moment 3. Again, I just love Olivia and Papa Pope. I could watch Joe Morton pretty much just do anything. That scene, there was a lot of layers to that scene when he was like, "Do not ignore me. Do not disrespect." I was like, oh, because we've all had like that. Where they like, you turn around when I'm looking at you. You're not just gonna say whatever and be all off the cuff. Yeah, right. No, but we've all had like, not obviously not on the level that Olivia has with her dad, but we've all had moments like that with our parents, I think. So that was one of my favorite scenes, and it had one of my favorite quotes in there where he was like, "I have shined their shoes so that you can always see your reflection." That is deep right there. That was like, because a lot of times we don't really think about all the things that our parents have to go through or sacrifice in order for us to have what we have. And that was his way of telling her, you don't understand what I have given up for you. It's like he wants her to acknowledge that she wouldn't be Olivia Pope without him in some way. You know what I mean? And that's true. I mean, she made her name on her own, but at the end of the day, she's always going to be his daughter, no matter how much she doesn't want to be or tries to act like she isn't. So that was one of my favorite scenes. I love the scene with Quinn and Huck when they were in the office, and Quinn and Huck come, and Quinn's like, "We have a problem," and Huck's like, "Well, did you tell her?" And she starts going on and on and on, and she's just sitting there like flabbergasted, like, why do I have to deal with Olivia? Like, why is this on me? Because she's watching her go back in. She was like, man, why is this me? She was like, ah. So that was one of my favorite scenes. And then my other favorite scene was the Fitz and Melly scene. When she walked up and she was like, "I'm back, baby." And he just had this look on his face, like,
dread.
Yeah.
Like, he really doesn't know what he's going to get. Like, from day to day.
Right. And she went in on him in such an untypical Melly-like way. She wasn't yelling at him. She wasn't, but she got some dick.
That was very typical Melly.
Yes, it was.
That was original recipe, Melly.
Right, chicken belly, original recipe.
It was the calm undertone in which she had, that she was like, "I've held you up for 20 years and I've lived," and he was looking at her like, "Bitch, you are crazy. And I always knew this." And he's like, "Why?" And he was out, he was thinking, "Why didn't I just leave you on the couch? Like, why like, bother you?" Because he was like, "Wish for it."
Answer your phone. I love that part.
Yes. Can we talk about the ovaries on Olivia for still asking for Fitz, even though Melly answered the goddamn phone?
Well, no, when the secretary never asks. Isn't it always the secretary and then he calls?
No. That was Fitz's personal phone, okay? That was the phone asked Lauren to call after she couldn't get him in New Hampshire. She said, call his personal cell phone. That's Fitz's personal phone that Olivia called.
So what were your 3 moments, Katrina?
My 3 moments were, my top moment was just definitely the scene with Olivia and Tom at the prison. There was just so much happening there that, I kind of got into it, but I feel like, I might want to say more about that later on my blog. But I think the acting was phenomenal, and it was just such a pleasure to see what's his name? Larson. What's his? I know the actor's name. Is it Brian? No, Brian Letcher.
Let's
But
yeah.
I'm like I'm mixing up their name. Tom Larson character, Brian Letcher. It was such a pleasure to see him really use his chops because we don't really get to see that kind of emotion and depth from him. And I just thought his performance was wonderful. And I love that. I think it may have been the first time that we have heard a man or anyone refer to Olivia as beautiful in that way and really take her in. You know, even though she obviously she is beautiful. I'm sure she knows that. We all know that. But to hear it is just kind of like really amazing.
Are you okay over there, LT?
Peel back all those layers of what that means and what that means to Fitz and to these other men that love her. And he first brought in this kind of, I won't call it a triangle because it's a triangle of men. Olivia is like in the middle of it, or she's on the outside looking like where she wants to be. But it's Command, it's Fitz, and it's Jake. And I just talk about that later. And then later on, we get to see the triangle with Olivia thinking about all these men kind of making requests of her or wanting to be chosen in some way or wanting to be the supreme in her life in some way. So that scene. I also adored. I also like the Rowan and Olivia scene because it brought home a lot of just stuff that I've been saying about him in the past. And I'm not going to go with the obvious because we know what scene I really, really loved. And I'm not going to go there because...
All of y'all nasty.
Someone got to talk about it. Come on.
Well, let me just say... Okay, fine. I'm going to go with that scene. I fucking adored it. But I'll tell you why. Because of how it paired with the first phone call. Because Olivia used her superpowers in that phone call, and there was a bit of manipulation there, but it's the kind that they're used to with one another. Fitz knows exactly who he's dealing with in Olivia, and she's trying to get him to do the right thing via Jake because she knows, him to be a better man than he's being with Jake, and of course she knows he's single. So she's the one that hangs up the phone in that phone call. Then we have the second. Fitz uses his superpower on her, right, in a twist. At the end, something that he knows she wants, and we know she wants it because she was just dreaming about it in the previous episode, and she got to touch it herself, and I thought it was so funny that she was left wing, and it was like this great kind of, we're always used to hearing about, women tease men and men are left with so-called blue balls and blah blah blah, and she was the one that was teased and was left on edge without any relief, and I really loved how that worked out. I thought it was a kind of comedic thing, along with all the other elements of that phone call, the stuff about her confronting him about the suicide. Ugh. It wasn't the time, but I just thought the whole phone call was brilliant. All the different elements that were in it and how it just kept moving and switching and was uncomfortable sometimes and then funny and sexy and heartbreaking. This is what they do. I just love them.
All right, we have 30 minutes left.
Okay.
Further questions?
I'm getting ready to say what my favorite scenes were real quick. I have to say one of my favorites was the Olivia, the first. I just want to blend them all together. Every scene that had to deal with Abby and her.
Oh my God! Yes.
Her situation with Chip. Chip, man, he clearly did a number on her because that the first scene with Olivia, where she has to bring her the dresses, that was heartbreak. That was just totally heartbreaking. Just to see Abby just totally not even in control of her emotions. At any moment, I just thought she was gonna pee on the floor.
Darby knocked it out of the park.
She really did.
She did a masterful job.
And then the moment that they encountered one another in the parking garage, which I was like, what a creepy thing to do in the first place. It's like,
he knew that. He fucking knew that what he was doing.
Right, and it's like you're letting us know, number one, you're married. Then you're coming on to your ex-wife as if she would even be interested in, actually partaking in anything with you after what you did to her. And then, I just think that it was an intimidation tactic, which I don't
Oh,
even,
of course.
again, trying to get her to call Olivia. Also, when she pulled out the gun, and then it was just that whole interaction between her and Olivia when she came back with the gun and expressing just how much more powerful she felt after the encounter, and just still not being able to control her emotions, but then being able to be calm enough and rational enough to listen to what Olivia had to say and still be able to say, yeah, I get what you're saying, but where are those women now? It's like we've done all these great things for these women, and they've stood their ground and they've said what they had to say, but where are they now in the public eye?
Can
It's
I
like,
add to that?
mm-hmm,
I just want to say that I agree with you, Langston. I thought what Abby did there, that the point of view that Olivia doesn't really have. I know Abby did live with Olivia for a while after, you know, um,
mm-hmm,
she left Charles finally. But Olivia goes in, she solves crises, she's in and she's out. She's not there for the aftermath of these people's
mm-hmm,
lives, right? So even though she told Amanda Tanner in the very first episode, when Amanda's like, I'm a good person, I'm telling the truth, and Olivia said, well, Monica Lewinsky was telling the truth too, and look what happened to her. But
mm-hmm.
Olivia's not there to see that personal upfront stuff. So when Abby tells her this, what she's living with and what, the fate that's facing her if she does take that platform and stand up. Yeah, it might be a great moment and yay, girl power, but the personal risk to me, Abby, and my career and my emotional and mental state is more
Yeah,
than you can know, Olivia Pope, TM.
right,
All
because
right, so slow down. Y'all got 3 answers in for one question, so we got like less than 30 minutes left, and we haven't even hit question number 4. So we got to keep these questions brief and concise. I'm gonna ask y'all one at a time. If you can chime in for a brief minute, we will be good. So y'all ready? So I'm going to give y'all the answers that they gave on Twitter, and then LD is going to give you the answers that they gave in the queue. So I'm selecting Shane's request. He wants to know why we're getting an echo. I think it was me, so I went and changed out my stuff while y'all were talking. But
Is it still echoing?
no,
not.
No.
It's not. Yeah, you can't hear it anymore. Great, because that's why I switched out. Okay, so Spectacles and Script says, besides the second Olitz phone call, because this is the answer to the first question, live with Tom, live with Abby, live with Rowan, live with Susan, Abby, and Yo. That was her answer to question 1. Shane's answer to question 1, revelation that Olivia jacked up Tom. Spectacles says, KP is a trip, calm down, ma'am. And okay, so yeah, I asked a bunch of questions because we have 3 questions here that we're trying to get answers on. So y'all go ahead to the next question. Y'all ready for the next question? Are y'all sure? Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, so the next question is, what were the 2 best quotes from last night's episode?
Okay, my 2 were the quote that that Abby had with Liv when they were talking, and Liv was like, if Fitz knew, and she immediately chimed in and she was like, Fitz is a man to you. To the rest of us, he's the president. He's an idea. That was one of my favorite ones. And then the second one was Melly when she was talking with Portia's character, and she was like, the minute a man has to do it, it will become a real job. They will hire someone. They will make it a paid job, talking about First Lady because she was stuck picking out China all episode.
That part of Melly I liked when she said that, because I thought that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
My favorite quote was, of course, David when he said, "This is not jailhousemingle.com."
It already has the word super in it, to the already clear maximum.
Right. Yes. He was throwing shot. It is like, and then of course, then his realization in the middle of it, like, I've already been poked. This is already happening, right? Right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Vanessa Thomas actually said her favorite 3 moments were Liv and Abby, Liv and Tom, Living Fits. Okay, everybody loved the live anything moments of
Well, Olivia
Langstan.
was in most of the episode. It was
Right. It was her. It was her and Abby. It was all about her and Abby.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'll wait till after dark to give my take on the Papa Pope and Olivia's scene. But
Yes, we
that
will
was
do
one
that
of my
later.
that was one of my favorites. And then of course definitely Tom. Definitely Tom.
All right, question number 3. Opening scene with Living Fits, hope and manipulation. How did you feel about that, Katrina? You did touch on it briefly.
I just thought, like, for me, it wasn't anything new. I think there were a lot of people prejudging that scene before they saw it, because they released a sneak peek of it. And I just thought Olivia sometimes acts in these like really cold ways with Fitz to get him to listen, because she's on a mission here trying to find out the truth about what happened and to expose her father and free Jake, who she, whether gut feeling or whatever, knows is innocent. So she wants to make sure, even through Fitz's anger, uncertainty, and trying to lay this to rest, that he does the right thing with Jake. And she's not going to do that through sweet talking him, because that's not how she gets him to really do things. She pushes him when she knows he needs to be pushed. When he doesn't need to be pushed, she backs off. And we saw that with the suicide thing. When he didn't want to talk about it, she backed off and she left it alone. Like, it wasn't the time. So, like, I trust her to know how to handle him, even though sometimes I do feel like she is mean, like when she yells at him. But that's the way these people are in a relationship, whether they're really together or not. That's just how they deal with it. So I didn't feel like it was this like cold-hearted manipulation. She was trying to make sure Jake was okay and that Fitz was doing the right thing and being the better man that she knows him to be. That was my take on it.
Okay, question number 4. Quinn going to the Winslow's house regarding Caitlin. You can't stop what's coming. I can't help you. I'm sorry. It's one of Shane's favorites. And Langstan, what did you feel about it?
What did I feel about that particular scene?
Mm-hmm.
I felt Quinn was crazy for walking her ass into a dark ass house, not knowing what to expect.
Quinn is on her gladiator speed.
Because I kept, I
She wants
kept
that
feeling,
corner office bad.
I kept feeling like that was going to be that moment that she talked about, like if I disappear again, just like, because I thought any moment somebody was going to run up and grab her, and then that would be. So I will say that it was a shocker and a surprise to me when he turned the gun on himself, because I was actually concerned that he was going to do something to her. But
I actually didn't think that. I was like, oh, he's gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
He looked dejected, depressed. He was drinking. Looked at damn mess. The place was dark. He was ready to go out.
Yeah, because he knows he was responsible for his own daughter's death. But again, whatever this is has got to be deep for you to allow your own daughter to be killed, knowing that she was killed over this, and then to try to cover it up.
Elde'a. Oh, go ahead.
No. Oh, am I reading the question, the answers? Okay, so chat room, we have a lot of stuff coming in from Shane B. He said the scene with Papa Pope was Emmy-winning for both Joe and Carrie. Carrie demonstrated force, strength, but when Papa Pope left, she collapsed in her fear and presence of her father. It was Olivia's finest moment. Kamira said, did Fitz start in on Liv with the phone sex because he couldn't deal with his suicide attempt, or was it because he didn't want Liv to have to deal with it and feel guilty? Shane inserts a couple jokes here. He said, word on the street is that the last scene of the episode, Fitz, Olivia, and Jake, is Olivia's attempt at an Eiffel Tower.
Some shit like that.
Okay.
Shame.
And he said, oh yeah, did anybody see the dunk on Quinn? I'm in love. I guess referring to Quinn's.
I just talked about Quinn's jeans.
Quinn is like somebody jacked that thing up.
My only negative was Tom flippy. That did not seem consistent with his character. So he doesn't understand.
His flipping. Dude, he was stabbed. We went over this earlier. In private chat. We went over this earlier. Dude was shanked. He thought he was going to die.
It was like Oz up in there for a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he said, Kamira, yeah, Fitz does not want to revisit the pain and quite frankly the vulnerability of that moment. He loves Olivia and does not want her to know he crumbled when she left.
Not just that, it's also, it's not something that you want to deal with over the phone. And Fitz is still in a really vulnerable and kind of raw state. He doesn't really feel like he has Olivia back yet, right? So that whole conversation that came after that, he's still trying to say, well, here's what you would be missing if you don't choose me. He's still trying to court her back and convince her that, look, we have something here that's worthwhile. I want to spend time with you, blah, blah, blah. So he's not there. And it's also not the conversation you have over the phone. Like, she needs to be there in order to have that conversation with him. So I understood why he wouldn't want to, like, go there.
Yeah.
And Katrina, could I just say this? You're wearing me out over here because it's like every week you have a different costume. This week is 1940s telephone operator. One moment, Leah's. One moment. I'll connect you now.
In honor of the phone sex.
Wow.
I knew there was a theme going on here because it's like it's like every week she's got a look going on. and a drink.
Yeah, I want to be the operator, like listening in on Oled's phone sex like calls.
Y'all are crazy. All right, so Abby getting sidelined by the Charles question. How do you think that played out, Elde'a?
I thought they played it out good. I mean, we all agree the episode was really great. The only thing I probably would have liked would have been more scenes between flashbacks, if by what I mean by more scenes, but I guess you couldn't really insert that. It was already a really full episode. I thought it played out well, though. We saw how his presence had an effect on her. Then she got to say her piece to him, and then you see her have that moment with Liv where you can see her kind of really questioning, like, I wanted to shoot him, but it didn't even feel bad. Like, that's wrong. Like, I should not want to kill someone, because the first couple seasons we saw Abby so nonchalantly go, I have a gun. Who doesn't have a gun? I have a gun. Like, it was like no big deal. Yeah, it was like no big deal for her, and to see her go from that to this, but we all knew there was a reason she had a gun. Because of what happened. Now we know. And then to see her put in that position where she maybe was going to have to use it, you could see that would have weighed heavy on her. So I thought it played out just perfectly with Leo then doing what he did, because I think we all kind of called the Abby and Leo thing coming, because I kind of I'm not an Abby and David fan. I'm sorry, I never really liked them.
Really?
I like Abby and Leo.
No, I never really
felt like I called that, though. Y'all remember when I said
you did?
I was like, I knew it.
So I thought it was great that they were able to use Leo to tie into her husband, then to order to bring Leo and Abby together. So I thought it played out great.
And I love that Leo didn't cause any mess in Abby's life in order to reach a resolution with Charles.
Yeah,
and he found a different way of exposing him, even if it was a lie, in order
So Spectacles
keep him out of
says that she wants to kill. She can't stand Shane for that damn comment about Liv. And then she's laughing at the 1940s telephone operator reference.
You see it?
Shane says that he wants Abby and Leo together. Leo is a keeper, love his swag. So he wants them together. And then also to get to some of these other answers, Providence Key says, well, Sweet Treats for you says, love the monologue with Tom. He sure told Olivia some truths. And Spectacles and Script said that Quinn was crazy as hell for going in that dark ass house.
Quinn is buck now. She ain't afraid of nothing.
If Harrison was alive, he wouldn't have went in there.
No, he would have. He would have, because he was stupid enough to go into that little warehouse where Adnan held him with the gun for it seemed like 2 days.
Can we talk about that scene when they did that tiny flashback with Papa Pope? I don't know if you. I'm on Twitter, obviously.
We ain't
Twitter
even there yet.
blew.
Nope, nope,
I was gonna say Twitter blew up by the fact that they didn't even show Columbus.
No, don't even try to keep getting in it, Elde'a, and she's still talking. No. So we're going to Little's house. We talked about that, right? And so Shane was like, "This is going to be epic." We are moving on to the next question because y'all be tripping. Y'all be going on and on. I be sitting here like I just told these black people on this podcast to slow down. They just
Did you call us black people or black people?
I said black people. Why would I call y'all black people? That's crazy.
Or did you call us blah people?
The friendship between Olivia and Abby. So tell me what you think was going to happen with the friendship with Olivia and Abby. We see it getting back to the basics. So go ahead, Katrina, go in on it.
Oh, what's going to happen with their friend? Well, the first thing I'll say is that I'm really happy to see them have some kind of parity. I'm glad to Parity. I'm glad to see that Olivia was able to be there for Abby in the way that Abby showed up for her in, was it 405, right, out on her doorstep, and dropped all the bullshit, and they were friends. I think the reason why they're able to like come to this point in their relationship and see each other again, if you will, is because they're not in an employer and employee relationship anymore. You know, when Olivia was going through her bullshit with that, and also that the secret is out, right? Abby knows kind of what was behind all of Liv's, you know, pacing in circles in her office and her standoffishness, her defensiveness. You know, Olivia like shut her out of that part of her life in some ways because she had to. And now that stuff is out, and they're not in a kind of unequal relationship anymore, that now this friendship can happen again like it had been before. And so I'm so happy to see it. And I think Abby might even be able to facilitate some stuff for Olivia with regard to Fitz, not just professionally, but personally. And we started to see that last episode. So I'm really pleased with how things are developing between the two of them. Like I said, this relationship was on my wish list, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
All right, so question number 3, when we asked about the opening scene with hope and manipulation, Shane said that he likes that Olivia has more control over the relationship, but hate that Fitz is being so damn pussy whipped. And then,
stop it right there.
That's what he said. Hey.
Stop it right the fuck there.
Okay. You've been asking for this.
Shane, you've been asking for it. Let me tell you something right now. One of the things I love about this show is what the different shades of masculinity that we are able to see. From Cyrus, the gay character, being like so forceful and this like dominant figure kind of in the narrative, and who will spare nothing and will fuck you up if you compromise like his work, to a figure like Fitzgerald Grant, who is this beautiful masculine package, but in his relationship with Olivia, he is the submissive in that relationship, unless it comes to the bedroom or, you know, the Resolute desk or whatever surface they're having sex on. When it comes to the sexual relationship, he's dominant there. But all couples, whether it's a heterosexual, homosexual, or whatever kind of relationship you're in, there's an alpha and beta thing going on, and it's not necessarily fixed in every relationship. It has ebbs and flows, and it depends on what's happening. So while Fitz defers to Olivia in a lot of things, there are times when he pushes his way forward. But yeah, he is a submissive in that relationship. He's the love interest on this show because Olivia is the star, and he is her love interest. So he takes that kind of beta role, and it makes sense. He's not pussy whipped in that way, and I really hate that term because it makes it seem like it somehow weakens a man in some way, and I think it's really strong for a man to know exactly who and what he wants, and to be able to defer to the wisdom of the woman that he's in love with without any fear of compromising his own sense of masculinity.
You need to put that on a T-shirt, front, back, and the inside on the label, and every man in America wear that. I want you to take that and give it to them in an entertaining manner so they can just walk around with it on their bodies, because Lord knows that's the best thing I have ever heard come out of this podcast.
And then of course, add at the bottom for Jaha, fuckboy.com.
Exactly. And now I need to go buy it.
On the bus.
Now you gotta be notified. Okay, so Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships, she didn't have a father either. Her father was God. Legally, Cam 225. She wrote out the whole quote for me, but I did ask the question, what were the two best quotes from last night's
I lean with
episode?
Cam.
And that ties into the question that I have next, which is Tom saying to her, you think you have a father? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have a father. You have command. Do you think that's true or false, Langston?
That is so true. I mean that, and I thought that great comparison between the Helen of Troy having a god for a father who was Zeus, by the way, and then comparing him to Rowan as command is like this may not be how she sees him, but this is how all the men who are under him have seen him as being this all-knowing, all omnipresent person who controls everything.
But
And
Langston, that parallels with what Abby said about Fitz. He said to Olivia, to him, he's a man to you, but to the rest of us, he's an idea.
right,
So
right.
to Olivia, when she says no, he's just a man, because that's her father. Like ultimately, like that, he will always be her father. And you said that,
Right.
Elde'a, earlier on, in talking about that scene. And to everyone else, he's an idea, right? He is
Right.
command, this idea
Right,
of
and that's
power to all these people. But the thing is both, and the show has been playing with that this whole season about statues and ideas and the people behind them. And even with Olivia Pope herself, all the references Cyrus has been making to Cyrus has said, you'll never be Olivia Pope to Abby. Have you ever
Right.
considered what it's like to be her? And we are seeing that. What is it like to be this woman? From the moment she's like sitting down in her apartment in the quiet, just kind of looking and staring and thinking about everything that's on her plate, to Olivia Pope TM, and to Olivia Pope the woman when she's on the phone, having phone sex with her man and feeling those relationships. She is just a woman underneath all of that gladiator armor. And the show's playing with these things. So I think it's cool.
And I
Right.
guess this show's been playing with that for the longest of times, because we always get these references to Shakespeare and the things that he said in all of his plays or whatnot. So if you look at it that way too, it can expand it a little bit for the whole show.
Oh,
Right. I mean, Shonda's always throwing the biblical, the mythological, the tragedies and Shakespearean stuff in there all the time.
She was a literature major. I think it was American literature, if I can't remember correctly, at Dartmouth. So this woman knows her literature.
Yeah.
And she puts those things in there. And I know people like to say, oh, it's just a soap opera, it's not that deep. And it's like, all right, well, you can think that. And she packages it in really glossy material. But trust me, these metaphors that have come from the way back are embedded in this narrative, because she's a very smart woman.
Right.
All right, so are you finished with your response to that, Langston?
I just wanted to wanted to say that
Somebody's gonna tell you, call off that Katrina dog.
but basically what I was saying is like that whole comparison right in there for me with Tom, where he brought that in, was just like, I'm just sitting there like, bravo, Shonda, bravo, because she was just she totally brings in the literature and all of that, and that's basically all I wanted to say.
And once I have you naked, I'd spread you out on the desk, every inch of you, so you can fully understand what you have in front of you. So, Elde'a,
well, thank you, Jaha. Thank you, Jaha. I appreciate that. But
that's a different picture. Just put in my head, not so much. But the late night phone call from Fitz. How well did he pluck the strings of hope, Elde'a?
Woo!
Oh my god. I say very good. No.
She was laughing and all blushing.
Because I blushed watching that. I was like, I kept thinking it was gonna stop, and then it like kept going, and I was like, oh, it kept going. I was like, I was like, it's gonna stop, right? No, kept going. I agree with Katrina. I thought it was very well played. I like that the tables were turned, and Fitz was the one who was kind of like manipulating her in order to get something out of her. And I don't know how difficult it was. I wonder how difficult it was to film that scene. Carrie said that they were actually on the phone when they filmed it, because a lot of times
They
they're at the
normally are.
same set hiding. She was like, no, we were actually like on a real phone conversation.
Ooh.
I was like, wow, that must have been really
I'll
uncomfortable.
just be over here drinking my wine.
It was like he was trying to get Olivia to hop in an Uber and come on over.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He was like, you whatever. And I thought it was really at the end though. I thought that was really great too, when she just kind of just fell back on the bed.
Yeah, she's like
like you knew, you were like, he got her. Like it was like he got her, and so I thought I liked it. I blushed watching it. So
I do think he started that whole conversation as a deflecting tactic, though. I don't know if he intended to go all that way, but once he started, he kept going. But I think he really was just trying to like change the subject at first and deflect. And he sort of started to go into asshole mode, and then he picked it back up and became kind of, swaggy Fitz and did the damn thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to read some of these comments because I have over 20 Twitter comments. So Sweet Trees Forever says Quinn is just a super spy and not scared to do the job. Jeremy must really be scared of someone. That's a good question. We don't really explore who he's afraid of. So do y'all want to try to go into that?
Wait a minute. Who's afraid of who?
Jeremy must be really afraid of someone. Liv's best friend's husband. Who he killed his daughter.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
I have no theories.
No theories. Abby getting sidelined by Charles. How do you think that played out? Sweet Treats Forever says it played out well. She stood her ground. He recognized that she is not the timid, submissive woman that he used to beat up on. And then we have she answers the question about Tom. I had a quote up and it says, "You have so much power over him. Why did you leave him?" That's one of the quotes I tweeted out. And she says that she loved how Tom questioned her on that. Why would you, knowing how he feels? Like, why would you walk out on him knowing how he feels?
That's not Tom's damn business. But I love hearing the question.
But you know what? What else was really great about that scene was the way he said it too. He was like, "I've never seen you," like, because he was like, "I'm in the room, but I'm not really in the room," and so you got the visual of like all the you're like, damn, he's seen a living Fitz probably do a lot of shit like that. In a way, in a sense, you know what I mean? Because he's always there, you know what I mean? So it's like he has had even more so of a front row view to their relationship than maybe even Melly has had in a sense.
From day one of Fitz's presidency, which actually Melly didn't find out about it until right before the SOTU. So a couple of months after that. But we all remember Tom telling Fitz after Deathgate that, hey, there are cameras in there and I didn't see anything, if you know what I mean. But it won't always be me watching the tape.
But even I thought that was great. But even remember when Tom came to pick her up to take her to Vermont. Even then, now that I remember back, he never really looked at her. He was kind of like looking beyond her, and it was kind of like, ma'am.
Because she's the sun, and you don't look directly at the sun.
Right. And he was like, he never really actually looked directly at her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you just kind of cracked the code on that, Katrina. You make me sick. That is perfect. No sun on the horizon. I want to stand in the sun with you. All that stuff that they've been talking about. That makes perfect sense. The light, the sun makes total sense.
You revolve around the earth revolving around the sun.
Spectacle in the script says that Shane talks too much, which, I'm not going to say that, Shane, but someone else said it for us.
And she still brought the shade.
I love Shane, I really do.
Olivia is the sun and Jaha is the shade.
Love that. That's hilarious. The quote was, "I kind of miss you. If I weren't married, we could have some fun. Might as well kiss and make up." And then Sweet Treats Forever says, "The nerve of Charles. Men for you to mess up and expect people to forget about abuse and move on. Yeah. That's not going to happen." Here we go. pushes his way forward. No double entendre needed. I'm sure KP. So she was responding to something you tweeted her, Katrina. Something about Nat says, because she's responding to, we did that to clients for years. We did that for clients for years. I can't even talk. I'm trying to speak fast. What happened to those women live? I almost said women's, y'all. What happened to those? What happened to those women live? Anita Hill, Monica Lewinsky, where are they now? And something about Nat says, please podcast and scandal-worthy quotes weekly. Cyrus quotes, especially, and Abby's. Yeah, Abby has really awesome quotes, and especially for this episode. And Katrina, my question for you is, when Abby said to her ex-husband, she said, that's what's made it so hard for me to be normal. We see this as a recurring theme in Scandal. Is there a normal? Like, I don't think there's ever just a normal in life. I think there's a boring and exciting and maybe other, but normal? What is normal?
I think normal is what you make it. I think normal is what we all strive for in some sense, right? Like, we all go, I just want to have a normal, stress-free, productive life. Exactly. That changes every day.
The 9 to 5, the family with the 2.5 kids and the dog, that kind of really prescriptive life that I think, a lot of us are encouraged to pursue as we grow up. And in some ways, it can seem easier because forging a different narrative is much harder, and in terms of human psychology and behavior, being a part of the dominant group is much easier on us psychologically. But when you're kind of an outsider, it creates more stress on the brain because kind of you have to think more and kind of figure things out a lot more, and there's like an emotional imbalance that comes with that, and that's a much harder thing to do. And I think it's why people like these characters that we see on Scandal who are operating at a level that's not really normal. They're in a really fast-paced, very demanding world and have certain access to power that your normal folks don't have. Like, I see why they kind of crave this idea of normal, right? And even Olivia tried to pursue the idea of normal with Jake, and it looked fucking boring as hell with their burgers, their pedestrian burgers and dinner, and their stilted conversations. Like, there was nothing about it that was exciting. And so, I go back to what Olivia said about herself in the very first episode, that she's not normal. And but for me, the way she is her normal. And we all have to kind of find that normal for us. Because I think normal is what makes you feel like you. That's your normal.
Now, Elde'a, can you go to the comments on your end?
Yes. So we're back to Shane. And he said, agreed, Elde'a. Wish we had more Flash. Expect that is coming in the spring. He also said, it's really interesting that women support what a woman perceives as masculinity, but rallies against a man when he defines it. Put that on a t-shirt.
Wow.
Okay. He said,
Jane's definition of masculinity is a man who isn't pussy whipped.
Return.
Okay.
Shane, not look into the screen. Don't look into the screen.
Okay, let's continue. It says, the night before he apologized for his comment sounding dirty. So it probably did start as a deflecting tactic. He also has another comment. He said, why is it that women can dissect and interpret femininity for women but chastise men when we do it, then feel justified in interrupting masculinity for men and oppose our opinion of it, shaking my damn head.
Can I say
totally all of that?
Shane,
I think the Google world was against you on that because that whole thing was disjointed and I couldn't hear a portion of it. But go right ahead.
Actually, Shane, let me say something to you. You talked about why is it that women can define femininity for other women. I'll tell you something. I don't believe in other women defining femininity for other women. I don't believe in the feminist movement doing it, telling women how they should behave, or hey, if you only dress like this, we could really get it together and get equality. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in like paternalistic prescriptions to tell me how to live my life in order to get equality, because that's not the point. So I don't want women defining how the ways in which I get to be feminine, and I don't think other men should define the ways in which other men get to be masculine, because that's exactly the problem right now, is that you guys have a really narrow sense of what it is to be masculine, and that causes everybody else pain, including other men who don't feel comfortable in being who they are because they feel like they have to fit within these narrowly defined confines of masculinity. And then they act out against women because they're mad that they can't be who they want to be because they have to be masculine. So fuck everybody like defining these strict definitions of what it is to behave in masculine and feminine ways, because there are ways of being and living in the world that fall outside those lines. So you need to like disabuse yourself.
Stop getting Katrina riled up.
So Shane, hold on. Shane, are you still like actually movable person? At this point, you should have turned into stone. You should have turned into stone because you just turned her into Medusa.
Okay. So he also
wait, slow down. If you all are watching us live, which we have a few viewers watching us live, if you're watching us live, there is a Q&A app on the screen in front of you. You can click that to chat back with us. We are actually about to be shutting it down the next 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be going into the Scandal Podcast After Dark. If you have, if you are interested in supporting the Scandal Podcast After Dark, which would be us answering most of these questions on that we put through on Twitter that we could get to on the actual episode, go to dramaqueenbooks.com/support and support our Patreon campaign. But also, thank you for those that have been sending in Patreon pledges. Unfortunately, I was not able to, like right now, I mean, the ones that have been sending it as we've been on air, unfortunately, I haven't been able to address those at the moment, but I will do them, you know, as soon as we get back to the After Dark part. So just a second, hold your horses. If you have contributed to the Patreon campaign, I will probably be sending you an email shortly to invite you to join us in the Scandal Podcast After Dark. But make sure I have your Gmail address because I can't submit anything to you unless you're doing that. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elde'a.
Okay, so he we'll pick back up with Shane B. So he said, no, it's a good one. He said, no, it's a good one. He said, side note on that phone boning, Carrie ad-libbed the part where she was feeling herself up while she and Fitz were on the phone.
Oh, God, thank you for skipping over that.
He said, Katrina heard your point regarding submissive.
Oh, see,
Fitz. Agree
that's the
he
one
is submissive, but
see.
hate that Fitz is that way. I find it hard to believe that a strong woman from Libya
we gotta take the Q&A. We gotta take the Q&A from
This is all
Elde'a.
I'm going to say to you. Go to my website, katrinapavela.tumblr.com/notes. Scroll down to March 2013. There is a post there called Dominance and Submission, the Sexual Agency of Olivia Pope. I very clearly explain it, including definitions of passive versus submissive and pictures. And also, I break the fucking scene down into like 3 2-minute segments of the entire Deathgate scene to explain what I mean about submissive and dominant, and why it is that a so-called strong woman would want to.
And now that she has manipulated the last 3 minutes that we have had.
Okay, Light and Sweet says, car screech, hey y'all, happy Friday waving. I think that's a good way to end it.
Hey! Yes. Gosh. And we are about to ascend to the Scandal Podcast After Dark, but I do want to discuss one last thing before we abscond to our place.
Ooh.
The Huck and Hobby scenes. How bittersweet were those moments? A lot like Huck.
Wow.
My heart.
This is on you.
Oh.
Go ahead,
They were
Langstan.
sweet.
Well, I just thought that was really special. It's like, and it's obvious that Hobby may have already known that he was playing with his dad, because if he could go through and get the IP address, he knew it was coming from. So he knew it wasn't a kid. He knew it wasn't a kid to begin with, and so therefore, when he went to that arcade, he was really expecting to see him there. not some kid. So that's why he just finally said, I'm just going to go there. And I just,
Like his daddy.
and he's just like his dad. He's got that acumen to research and find stuff.
Well, thank you, Coffee Light and Sweet. She said, random to Jaha, loving the sexy librarian glasses. Work, honey. I see.
You have a 1950s or like early 60s thing going on with those cat eye glasses.
I like them. They're so cute. I was like, they're here. New glasses. So yeah, I just want to read through these last ones before we get off. But thank you all for tuning into the Scandal Podcast. We truly appreciate you. Tell it, Professor KP, Doms and Subs. I refer to it often. Wait, did I actually type that? That was Coffee Light and Sweet Rehearsal. So, okay, so you did, Elde'a, you did go through the one where Coffee Light and Sweet talked about the her sexy phone skills, right?
No, I didn't see that one.
She said, I'm thinking about upping my sexy phone talk skills after watching last night's episode. I see how that works. I will master it. Ha.
Oh, Fitz gave you lessons.
Lucinda Vigil said, yeah, the night before he apologized for his comments sounding dirty. So I probably did start as a deflecting topic.
Yeah.
Here we go. Car Street. Hey, y'all. Oh, yeah, we got that. Happy. Elde'a don't be clicking these things off. I don't know why not. And I've been going through here like, let me clean these up because we don't want to keep repeating stuff. I did see a Lucinda. Oh, Lucinda said she wanted to hug both Huck and Javi. Oh, yeah, that was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
My heart broke. Like,
Shane, you might as well highlight and copy paste all your stuff into the Scandal Podcast After Dark. So, Mary Harrington said, did Fitz start in on Liv with the phone sex because he couldn't deal with his suicide attempt, or was it because he didn't want Liv to have to deal with it and feel guilty? Well, that's a good question.
Somebody already asked that already.
Yeah, we didn't answer it though. I actually think it's both.
Okay. Then she also asked, is it possible that when Tom told Liv that she had no father, only command, and Papa Pope confirmed what Tom said, is it proof that Dominic was Liv's father?
No.
Well, we already cleared that up, Kamara. No. Kamara, can you be watching these shows with us? I need you to roll on back and do a Scandal rewind on your own. So then Kamara said, no. Preach, Katrina, read that, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, that was great. Love that. And Coffee Light and Sweet said, podcast after dark. Yeah, man, I so need this tonight. Whoops. So those are the comments that we have in the room, and we have some other comments on Twitter. We'll be reading those in the Scandal Podcast After Dark. Thank you all for joining us. We are Audi $5.
Bye.
Bye.